Hello everybody and welcome to my Inktober 2020 tour. Real quick, let's go over all the art supplies I used, starting off with these Muji pens I used to sketch with. This is the pencil I do all of my penciling with, the Graph Gear 500. As usual, I stuck to the Sakura pen products because I absolutely love these. They dry very quickly. I mainly used the Micron PN for all of the line work, and then to fill in the bigger spots, I used some of their Pigma bold, fine, and medium tipped pens. And because everybody asks me if I use a ruler when hatching, yes, of course, what I did for this particular Inktober was I actually taped down my artwork onto a mat that had lines on it, and then slowly moved my ruler over the art, marking my lines, and it took a while, but I think you'll see that the results are well worth it. This Inktober I worked very small and very simple because I just have so many personal projects going on right now, but I still had a lot of fun with it, so let's get into it, starting off with our day one. Here's our sketchbook, and here's the piece for day one, fish. As you can see, I did keep things very simple, and I actually have a theme this year. I hid a tiny little ant in every single drawing, so I'm not going to show you guys where each ant is in the drawings, so keep an eye out. If you find all of the ants, let me know in the comments. But I had a lot of fun with this one, just a bunch of fish. For day one, I really had to figure out what style of ant I was going to go with, so I went with a much more simple ant drawing than my usual, and honestly just had a lot of fun doodling different types of fish. For day two, we have wisp, and as you can see, I went with a wisp of smoke. I did kind of want to do a ghost or something spooky, but in the end, I went for this very simple candle drawing. It's simple, but I like it. For day four, I went with an ant carrying a bunch of fruit on its back, so I consider that pretty bulky, especially compared to an ant. Even though I wanted to go with a more silly approach, I do like the way the fruit came out. Day four, we have radio. Nothing too special about this one, just drew a radio. Even the sketch is basically what I ended up going with. Day five, blade, is probably my favorite. It just turned out kind of elegant looking and is honestly the best well-hidden ant. Unfortunately, because I was going for a very simple look on this Inktober, it was really easy to find most of the ants, but this one turned out really pretty, really simple, but also very effective, so I really like this one. Day six, we have rodent, and I just wanted to have a simple drawing of a rodent floating in air with an ant buddy, and that's what I ended up going with, though for some reason I really struggled with the style of rodent. As you can see, I have a full page of rodents. I just couldn't get the style down. I don't know why. For day seven, we have fancy, and I really wasn't sure what to do about this one. When I think fancy, I guess I was thinking more royalty. So I did sketch a few crowns and other things, but in the end, I decided to go with a tea party because tea parties are fancy. Though I do really like that ant with the absolutely tall crown. I thought it was really silly. For day eight, we have teeth, and I pretty much had this one immediately, though I did sketch an ant inside of a mouth. This one was just very simple and also kind of creepy, so I really liked it. Like I said, I really took Inktober simple this year. Day nine was throw, and I had two ideas with this one, either a throw blanket on a couch with an ant lounging on it, or a ball being thrown around. So obviously that's what I ended up going with, and I really like the texture on the ball. A very simple detail, but just something simple to like. Day 10, hope, really confused a lot of people. They were not sure what this had to do with the word hope. Basically, because I was hiding ants, I thought that this would be really silly to, I guess, sort of suggest, I hope you can find the ant because it's very well hidden. So it's not a very literal interpretation of the word hope. It's very abstract, and I honestly just had a lot of fun zoning out, drawing a bunch of dots, and just going very different for this one. Not much to show for the sketch this time around. For day 11, we have disgusting, and I don't know what it is about this one. I love the concept, but the execution isn't quite right. I just don't really like the way I drew the nose, but other than that, I love this sad ant in the snot. Day 13, slippery. We have a slide. What else is there to say about this one? It's very simple. Did I call that one 13? This is number 13, Dune. We have a dune with a night sky and that's about it. I really enjoyed the night sky with this one. Just very simple, very cute. Day 14 was armor, and I honestly struggled on this piece the absolute most. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to draw. Obviously, I was going to draw armor of some sort, but I really couldn't get anything I liked, so I just kind of settled for a couple of ghosts and some armor. But honestly, this is one of my favorites just because I absolutely love the hatching in this one. I just think it turned out really nice, and there's armor. For day 15, we have Outpost, and again, wasn't sure what to do about this one, so I just drew an ant hill with a bunch of fake ants around it. Is that an outpost? Sure, why not? I do have to say, I love these little fake ants. I think they turned out pretty dang cute. Day 16, we have Rocket, and this is such a classic Kasey illustration. A rocket in space with asteroids and planets. And I don't know, I just really like a simple classic rocket shape, especially with that dark space in the background. I think this one turned out really cute, very simple, but still, I like it. This is also where I started to realize that having a splash of red color would have benefited these so much, but I was already very deep in with the black. Day 17, we have Storm, so we have, well, I'll spoil it, an ant floating through the storm with an umbrella. Again, simple, yet cute. Day 18 is Trap. So for this one, I wanted to somehow represent an ant trap in some way. So I went with a sugar cube soaking in poison, and we have little poison bubbles bubbling up. This one definitely has a better hidden ant than most. And I absolutely love the bubbling poison bubbles at the very bottom. I think those turned out very nicely. Day 19, we have Dizzy, and I got a little self-indulgent for this one. I drew a self-portrait, me being dizzy, and not much to say about it. No, I don't actually feel dizzy, but I wanted to put a human in one of these drawings, and why not draw myself? This one is definitely one of my favorites. No, not because I'm in it, but I just think the shading, gradients, different tones I was able to achieve with the hatching really came out well. Especially the shadow from my bangs. I just think it looks really good. We have Coral for day 20. This one was just a lot of fun to come up with the different types and varieties and textures of coral and just filling up the space. Not much to say about it, but I really do like this one. There's just a lot of variety. Also, another one of those illustrations where I really wish that I was using red. It really would have benefited. Day 21, we have Sleep, and this is a parody of The Princess and the Pea. So I have this ant sleeping on a huge stack of mattresses with a giant pea underneath. Of course, in comparison to an ant, it's not a giant pea, but in comparison to The Princess and the Pea, it's quite a large pea. I wasn't really liking this one until I put all the different patterns, and even though they're very sloppy, I just think the variety turned out really cute and fun on this one. Day 22, we have Chef, and if you recall the sketches, this was actually originally the blade drawing, but I really liked the sword one more, so I pushed this one back to Chef. Thankfully, there was a prompt that I could squeeze it into. It's a lot of fun, I just really enjoyed the sword one more. Next up is Rip for day 23, and I really struggled with what to do with this one at first until I remembered ripping off a band-aid, and I thought it would be really fun to actually go abstract with the shapes around the band-aid, and the band-aid's covering up a hole, so it really doesn't make a lot of sense, but it was really fun to do something different and a little bit abstract. So this one is definitely one of my favorites. It's a weird one, but it's a good one. Day 24, we have Dig, and it's been a while since I've done one of these sort of side views of something underground, so I really enjoyed just kind of drawing this winding maze through the ground and having different objects in it, and especially, spoilers, the ant hanging off at the bottom. I think it turned out really cute, so this one was definitely a lot of fun to work on, and it also turned out really fun too. Day 25, Buddy. I originally really wanted to have an ant on a finger and somebody looking at it, but once I doodled this really goofy, silly looking beetle, I could not resist drawing it. Although it did turn out a lot goofier in a very small, tiny sketch, I still think this one turned out cute. For day 26, we have hide, and this is definitely one of the more well-hidden ants, thankfully. Thankfully, I was able to do that prompt some justice. So here's a plant with lots of texture. I really like the texture of the planter, and that's about all I have to say for this one. Music is the prompt for day 27, and this one was pretty easy. It was the first sketch I did, though I did mess around with ants that had music notes for heads. A little abstract for what I was going for. This one is kind of boring, but it's simple, and there it is. Day 28, we have float. The idea isn't the most original, but as usual, I had a lot of fun hatching the different colors and overlapping of the balloons, so that was a lot of fun. As far as my sketches go, I kind of wish I went for the fish, but it is what it is. Day 29, we have shoes, and I definitely went with the basic Kasey shoe. I love my Chuck Taylor shoes. I just think they're so cute and simple. So there it is. We have a tennis shoe with a heart-shaped shoelace situation. Not much else to say. Day 30, we have ominous, and if you recall, this sketch is actually from the prompt hide, but I really liked it. I thought it was ominous enough for this prompt. I wasn't coming up with any sketches that I liked to replace it, so I ended up going with it. What it is, I don't know, maybe clouds? Bushes? I'm gonna go with clouds, an ominous dark cloud. And last but not least, but the most abstract, we have day 31, crawl, and this one I wasn't sure what to do. I had many ideas, but I just wanted to go abstract and play around with it, so I ended up going with these overlapping circles with lots of layers and stripes, and it's very interesting. Not my favorite, but it was a lot of fun to work with and experiment with. And that is it. That is my entire Inktober 2020. Thank you guys so much for watching this tour of my sketchbook and entire Inktober drawings. If you do want to buy these, they will be on store in my store envy shop. Check out the link in the description. Let me know if you found all 31 ants in every drawing. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay golden. But real quick, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for all of their support. You guys are seriously the best. If you want early access to my videos, secret sketches, works in progress, and more, check out the link to my Patreon in the description. Thank you guys so much for the support. Bye.